on the design of human ships, posted by u/pax62375 over on r/hfy. I, Santal, as a Jusian observer, have had to spend the last cycle of my life studying and compiling a report on the ships of humanity for approval of travel through our sovereign space. The observations I have made are wide and varied, and will be separated into separate parts, starting with heat management. The way most manufacturers handle unwanted heat that can easily accumulate to dangerous levels on a spacecraft is to reduce the production of that heat as much as possible, and to use void radiators that slowly radiate heat out the only way it can in a vacuum: radiation. Human ships are similar in the way they use radiators to wick away the heat. However, their ships often have industrial equipment that would only be seen on planets, because they are impossible to practically cool in space. So what did the humans do? They just throw out the heat. Their radiators are designed to be as light as possible and to be jettisoned as soon as they can no longer take on any more heat and radiate the heat away fast enough to cool the ship. And with a method similar to their origami, they can unfold and deploy a new cool radiator to do the same once it's too hot. This makes it so that they can mine and produce essential materials in an unsettled system. This made them able to be one of the leading colonizers of frontier space, able to operate for years in the void of space, because one of their industry ships could hold thousands of these radiators. These thrown out radiators can be reclaimed and recycled once a proper ship cooling center is built on a celestial body. Atmospherics. Due to thousands of years of industrial development and natural factors on their planet of Earth, their respiratory systems are far more robust than other species, allowing for more airborne particulate to be in the air they breathe, meaning they can go relatively cheap on their atmospherics. Next to that, they only need 87% of the oxygen of standard, and the rest can just be filled with inert and cheap nitrogen. And in a pinch, for short periods of time, they can breathe a much higher concentration of oxygen, only seeming to become dangerous at 200% of standard. That doesn't mean that it's healthy for them, but if they need, they can, such as with their emergency evacuation suits. Nutrition and hydration. Just like their respiratory system, their digestive system doesn't need particularly clean food or water. But their food standard is much cleaner than their atmospheric standard. This is because they often pack enough food to last centuries, a holdover from their first generational ships of the past. As for their water, they carry about 2 tons per human. Because of their ability to jettison heat, they can evaporatively refine the water to a clean consumable state. Conclusion. If we were to open our borders to human-made ships, we should open designated radiator dumping zones and fund the retrofitting of ship cooling stations to also cool their radiators for reselling and/or renting of dumped radiators. To require any human ship coming to station to adjust their atmosphere to standard, both for airborne particulates and oxygen content. And invest in long-term food preservation to offer to human ships. If we do this, we will be the first to interact and trade with humanity since their first contact and uplift. It will allow for trade with one of the fastest growing economies of the galaxy, and it will give us access to the fastest developing civilization, and it will give us the most advanced and cheapest colony ships.